I had named it Divine Legacy Conservatory because I'm really big on legacy and creating a legacy for yourself, and just that whole idea of what a legacy is and passing something down, and so that's where the legacy came from. And then that semester before I took that class, I had did a play at UWF. And a lady after the show one time, she really loved my performance, and it was an older lady, and she said, "Your performance was divine." And that just stuck with me, and I was like, divine, like that just sounds good and rich and just, and I always would hear that lady say that, and so she was, just old sweet lady, man. I'm like, what? Man, you over here speaking life into a brother. I'm just trying to, what I'm saying? But no, seriously. And so Divine Legacy Conservatory was birthed in that class.
All in audio experience.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the All In Audio Experience, and we got a very special guest. Where you at, Trent?
In Orlando, baby. And yes, we have more than one special guest, but yeah, we got somebody in here that, Jordan introduced me to, or, told me about. So Jordan, go ahead and, do the introduction. This man has a lot of, accolades, a lot of, wears many hats. So go ahead.
All right. You put me on the spot. But yeah, for sure. We got my boy Princeton in the building.
What's up, guys?
My guy is an actor. My guy's a director. He's a writer. He's a producer. Yes. Just recently produced, seven short films in 6 months. Yeah. Numbers, they're hard to keep up with. But for sure, he also is a teacher, which is a blessing as well. Because we have some of the students in here. We have Nicole. We have the lovely Nicole in the building. She is also an actress. You're a director. You've written all that great. Yes. Sure. Yep. And then we have Tay in the building, my guy. What's up? Tay is also an actor. He's written, he's directed. So we have some really talented folks in the building for this episode, and it's going to be a good one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. This is real unique. I mean, I don't think we've had anybody that's an actor, writer, any of that. So this will be a great episode to have and get some insight on that.
That's what I was just telling them. I was like, within the arts, when it comes to like looking for like media outlets and marketing, I just noticed that like actors, actresses, y'all are way more chill than like, I guarantee you there's 30 rappers in my DMs right now. Like, let me get on the podcast. Like, it's funny how like that works. But no, I'm glad you reached out. It's been a long time coming.
Been a minute, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. For sure.
Excited to be on.
So let's get straight to it. So, Trent, I'm gonna let you start off because I don't want to. I know you want to get in there with a question.
Okay, so you know me. I got to do a little background check. He was joking earlier about stalking, but hey, got to do your research.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I want to just get a little background. I know you went to the University of West Florida,
yes.
And initially, after reading your bio, you were originally doing nursing and you transitioned. So what was that, how did that come about? And, how did you get to this point,
Gotcha. Yeah. So when I was about 13 years old, growing up, I always loved the medical field and I always loved entertainment. But when I was 13, I really, I don't know, I thought I could be an actor. That was kind of like the dream. Like, man, I really could do this, And I had an aunt and some cousins who lived in California. They had moved from Huntsville to California, and they were like acting and modeling and doing stuff. And so I'm like, man, if they can do it, I can do it too. But around that time and living in Huntsville, there was no outlet for it. There was no professional acting schools and things like that. And so it was just kind of like always an idea and kind of a desire, but there was no outlet for it. And so I really kind of went the medical route. I took a medical professions class at Spartan High School and just loved it. So that's kind of where the nursing kind of came into play. And I was like, man, I think I really want to be a nurse, do travel nursing, and then go back to school. And I actually wanted to be a plastic surgeon too. So it was like that whole medical field realm. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to get the BBLs going on for the ladies, but it's very different from entertainment.
Good BBL.
You know, very different from entertainment. And so when I was in college, I actually, before going to West Florida, I went to JSU for a little bit. And when I went to JSU, I was pursuing
on the same like track, bro.
Yeah, I was pursuing nursing when I went to JSU. And back then, during that time, they were only taking about, if I remember correctly, like 60 nursing students a semester. And so it was very competitive. So you had like almost 500 people trying to be nurses, and then they were only taking 60 a semester, you know. And so it was very competitive. And so you had to have like, for real, like A's for like, even if you had like C's, it would be hard to get into the program. And so, but during that time I had like, you know, trying to get my life together, started praying and asking God for direction and kind of like, what is it that you want from my life? And I will never forget, I took the HESI test, which is a test to get into the nursing school, to get into the program, the nursing program. And I didn't pass. The first time I took it, I didn't pass by 1 point. You had to have a 75. I made a 74.3. So, you know, those point systems are like crazy. So after that, I started praying and just kind of asking God for direction. And then I had a friend named Jessie. She was my RA, and she was an actress. And she was like, you know, Princeton, she was like, you know, you're always hanging out with us, you know, you're always around different artists and stuff. She was like, why don't you just, you know, audition for this play and then maybe try to take an acting class? But nursing was so demanding. I was like, Jesse, I don't got time. Like, I don't have time to like, you know, take a class or like really, I was like, I'll do this audition, but I had never done anything like professional audition wise before, you know? And so so I didn't do that particular play, but I ended up auditioning for another play, and I ended up adding, it's like an acting one-on-one class that next semester, because this was the spring, and then we had the summer, and then the fall. So this was in the fall. And so, yeah, the fall of that year, I ended up taking my first acting class with Susan McCain. And she was an acting teacher, but she was also a professional actress, had done like Days of Our Lives and like a lot of soap operas and stuff. So she was really like, she really had some industry insights.
As my grandma would say, my stories.
Yeah, the stories, man. And I love Miss McCain. Shout out to Miss McCain. Miss McCain was, you know, she had an edge to her and was just like very lively. And that was the first time I learned the Uta Hagen technique too. The Uta Hagen is a technique that I teach here at the studio. So like,
oh boy, is an anime sensei. What is
that?
I've
been doing this a long time. You know, so you got to get into the acting techniques. You know what I mean? Okay. This ain't no TikTok acting. This is real stuff over here. You know. But yeah, just trying to, you know, I don't always get to share the journey of it, but I took that class with Miss McCain. Miss McCain had an audition for a play Eurydice that year, and I auditioned for it, and I loved it, man. That was my first time hitting like a professional stage, and it just felt like this was the right thing for me. You know, so I kind of look at it as like, you know, one door was closing, which was the door for nursing, and this other door, which was the entertainment industry and acting, was opening up, and I've been doing it ever since.
So did you do any acting when you were at Sparkman or before that?
No,
so
no.
You weren't a theater kid at all.
I wasn't a theater kid at all.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think so I went to Sparkman 11th grade through 10th grade through 12th, but I went to Bob Jones my freshman year. And I think I had a drama class for Bob Jones only for like a week, because, you know, you can like change your schedule and stuff. So I was only in that, I think I only went one time, and then my schedule changed and I didn't have that class anymore. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I never was a theater kid. I never grew up doing it. I did like a church play once, but it wasn't anything like professional, you know.
It's crazy because like Sparkman, like out of the high schools, this is one of the ones that get in the theater like more than other ones.
Yeah. But like back then, theater wasn't a cool thing, you know what I mean?
Like theater's ever been cool.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sparkman back then, Sparkman had the babe, so I'm like, you going to class and you looking for the girls, you know what I mean? Just being honest, you know, that's what my focus was. It wasn't even on like barely academics, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but just being honest and, you know, being truthful with everything. But yeah, I didn't do any type of theater growing up.
That's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
Nicole, how did you get into acting?
Oh, I got into acting. I wouldn't say theater kid. It was an elective in high school at the time, and I didn't want to take Spanish. So it was, what is your elective? And so I said, I'll choose drama. I mean, I had a few friends.
I did not know you could do that. You could get out.
I'm not from here. I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi. So I went to a different high school than the local people around here. But yeah, so I didn't want to take Spanish. It wasn't it for me. I was like, I'll do drama. And the main reason I did it is because of the time, the period of that class was right before my softball class. So I could just relax and do whatever, and then I could go straight into practice. But I ended up really liking it enough to put forth effort. And then my softball career kind of overtook that. I had to make it a priority. So I did softball for all the way up to college. And then I joined varsity even at the 6th grade. So I was playing varsity way ahead. But when I joined college, I had to focus on a career. I chose criminal justice, which overpowered softball. Turned out criminal justice wasn't for me as well. So now I'm back into college doing creative writing. So liberal arts, creative writing. But started in theater. I'm at Princeton a year ago. We had a callback. It was the first callback earlier this year. I had my first in-person callback audition. I walked into a room. I was the first one there. I sat in a room I don't think I was supposed to sit in. I was shy. I didn't speak to anyone. A bunch of other people showed up. And then in walks this guy, this tall guy, and people just hounded him and wanted to speak to him, wanted to talk to him. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. But I want to know who that is. I like that. And so I gave this description to a friend of mine who's also an actress, Angela. She's like, I think that's Princeton Drake. So she sent me his Facebook, and I added him. And as soon as I added him, I saw where he was having classes. And so I joined, and it's been like that. We've been here ever since.
I love writing too, so I like the career.
I love writing. I love writing. It's definitely. I mean, if I'm not acting, I'll be writing for sure.
That's like my thing when I watch like any media is like how the writing is, the dialogue. That's like if you want to get me on something, like I got to get into the characters and stuff like that for sure.
It's important.
That's pretty cool. Yep. Tay, don't run from me.
It was like one more person.
Yeah. So the question is, how did I get into acting, right? So in 2018, my friend, the short answer is my friend Devin. So in 2018, he had always been into acting and ever since he got into college. We went to UAH together, and 2018 happened, and he had some assignment for one of his professors where it's like, it was almost interpretive dancing. Like, I wasn't dancing, but it was like I had to do a voiceover, but in the actual production, I wasn't actually saying words. I was just doing body movements. And it was called Contrast and Affinity, and it was about how you can, it was more of a lighting project with black versus white lighting and things like that. And so he was like, hey, I need somebody to help with that. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And that was in 2018. And then he was in graduate school a couple years later. And am I too loud? No, okay. So yeah, he was in graduate school a couple of years later in 2021. And so he actually wrote, directed, produced, and acted in his own short film. It's it's under 30 minutes. So that was another opportunity, and he was like, hey, I need an extra actor. Do you want to do it? I was like, sure, whatever. Because I'm an engineer by trade, so I got my degree in system engineering. Yeah, so acting had never been, like, I loved to watch it, obviously. Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Living Single.
Come on, the greats.
Come on,
the greats.
One-on-One. I mean, we can keep going and going and going. So obviously growing up on that, I love that. And my favorite actor is Will Smith. But I didn't really take it serious. Well, let me go back. So after Devin allowed me to be on the set of Geo, I met his professor there, and him and I kicked it off. And so his professor that following semester was shooting his own feature-length film. And he was like, hey, I want you to be in it. It's not a lot of work, but you can say you were in a feature film and just something cool. And I was like, all right. And I just really enjoyed, like, what I fell in love with was the behind the camera, like what the acting actually looks like versus like what a bystander would see on a 55-inch or 45-inch TV. Like seeing how the director of photography is like doing a whip around shot, or for like that 70s show style shot, or like Spike Lee has his famous shots. Yeah. So being on the set and just watching, and I mean, man, I probably did my take in 30 minutes, but Dr. J, he's the professor, he let me be on set multiple days to help out as crew. And he was like, as long as you don't get in the way, you can ask questions. And that was kind of like the experience that bit me in the bug. And so summer of 2022, I was like, this happened in the fall of 2021. So spring of 2022, I didn't do anything. And then summer 22, I was like, yo, Devin, I really want to do this acting thing. Because it's like, it had been 4 or 5 months. I'd stepped away from it. And I just like, something was like calling me back to it, bro. And so I was like, what can I do? Is there anything in Huntsville? And he was like, yeah, there's this one place. And I said, okay. And that didn't turn out well. So we reached out to someone else, and Dr. J actually referred me. He was like, hey, I think there's another studio, Divine Legacy something. There's this guy that I hear, his name's Princeton. Check it out. And so checked it out, DM'd the email. I did my research and DM'd the Divine Legacy Conservatory email. And Princeton had hit me back within a couple of days, maybe a week or so, if memory serves. And we jumped on a call to just feel each other out. He was basically letting me know, this is how I teach, this is what acting is like. And I've been taking it serious ever since, I started class
last August.
August of 2022, and yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So not the typical journey.
I think I caught that bug too with videography.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cinematography, videography. Once you get into it, you see like there's so many different worlds,
right?
And, like so many different types of talented people. Because like on my side, like there's people who do like music videos. It's totally different from like people who edit like shorts, or like people who do YouTube videos, people who do TikTok videos. It's just so many different things and so many different creative ways people like you might get up there and see somebody like on a skateboard, like pushing the camera on a skateboard and catch a cool shot or something like that. So I definitely got behind the scenes. I was like, bro, y'all are nice, bro. Like this is cool.
Yes,
for sure. And then in like improv. So that's one thing I want to ask you guys about. Have you guys done any like improv stuff? Because Martin is one of my favorite shows when I was a kid, and once I saw like some of the behind the scenes and some of like things I didn't notice as a kid, like they would be like acting like a wig was like a dog or something. And I would be like cracking up, and I did not notice when I was a kid. And it's crazy how magical things can be, like when people are just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
do you know the story behind that?
No, go ahead, tell the story.
So I just watched it on, what was it, Instagram? The clip with Tachina Arnold and Martin and all of them talking about what happened. And so, like, make a long story short, there was a gap in the script, and they just needed to fill time. And so the showrunners were like, hey, guys, do something. And Martin was just like, y'all, follow my lead.
Oh, wow.
And then, I don't know, have you seen the scene where they take the wig off and it's like acting like it's a dog and they throwing it around?
And like,
that's all improv.
I kid you not, it's like, I used to like literally
Yeah.
wait by the TV like for this show to come
Oh,
on.
yeah.
I never knew that was like a wig until I'm a grown adult. Watching it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy how like they can like, you guys can create memories with like acting and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But back to the question, have you done any improv, anything like that?
Yeah. So actually, we do improv warm-ups. So like right before we get into like our major monologues and scenes and stuff, we do improv, and we play games like yes and we do like freeze tag and just different improv games to loosen up our bodies, because you know, just like with singing or any type of, you know, that type of form of art, you got to warm up a little bit. You know, you can just dive right into it, but it's always better to warm up just a little bit. So we do improv warm-ups. Yeah, and they're always fun. Like, we always have fun with them. We always create really crazy scenarios and stories. And then sometimes, you know, with certain games, you can like start a new one, but then sometimes the people will go back to the one that we just did like a couple minutes before. So it's always fun how, you know, to build on it. So yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take a cut real quick so we can like, share, and comment on this video.
Yes.
Please do that. You know what I'm saying? We need
Indeed.
that. Grow the channel. A whole lot of that. Also, I wanted to give you a chance to plug before we got too deep into
All
it.
right.
So plug any events, anything.
Yeah. So December 16th at 6 p.m. we are having our end of the year showcase. It'll be at Low Mill on the second floor in their new renovated like theater space. And so please come out and check us out. We have live performances. We are showing our series of short films there. We got some music performance and dance performances as well. So this is a show that you guys don't want to miss. So come out, Low Mill, December 16th, 6 p.m.
A lot of that. All right, Trent, take it away.
So Nicole mentioned this that when she went, and did her first audition, she was real shy and stuff. A lot of times when we ask our, you know, artists or musicians, like, how's that first performance? How is that first audition like for everybody that, has done an audition? How was that like for you all? And, how did you prepare? How did you get the jitters off,
I think for me, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, every audition is like the first audition, especially when you're in person. You always have the jitters, but honestly, it's I wouldn't want it any other way. It definitely creates an emotion that you can tap into to use for your performances. But for me, it was right after COVID had we started opening up a little bit from COVID, so being able to do that in-person audition. There's people to this day that actually haven't gotten to do that. Have never done that. They've never been in a room with a director, casting agent, screenwriter, any of that. And so, one, I'm just honored and blessed to be able to have done it, to be a part of it. But it's just studying lines, getting into that character, and figuring out where to go and where to take that character helps with those jitters. Because if you can become that character, if you can actually tap into that character, it's like you're living every day anyway. So when you can tap into that and create that, you lose those jitters, because it's like I'm sitting here talking to you guys right now. It's something I do every single day. So that's initially how I do that. But the jitters usually don't go away.
This is true.
It's with every audition. It's with every performance. It's with every time I'm getting in front of the camera. It never goes away. But again, I wouldn't have it any other way for sure.
I like it. So I like business. So I was telling you, Trent's like the engineer. I like to get into the business side of things. And I was noticing you guys talking about agents earlier. So especially for like people that want to become actors and actresses that might see this, what is it like getting an agent? What are some things you need to like know when you're deciding?
And my story with getting an agent was actually was a little bit different. So I got my agents, both of them, my first round of agents that I've had, I got them at a showcase, like an acting showcase. And one of them actually was one, I just telling somebody this story, but so the old acting studio where I used to train, Tyler Perry's casting director, Raven Drummer, came for a workshop. I couldn't afford the workshop. It was expensive. And so I had like asked my acting teacher at the time if I could like come and help out and just like, be a part of the workshop or whatever. And he was just like, no, he was like, I couldn't do it at first. And then he called me the night before she came and was like, hey, you can be the reader for all the other actors. So it was like 30 actors at this workshop, and like they needed a scene partner to read the scenes with. And so he was like, you can be the reader, but you can't participate in the workshop. So I couldn't like audition or do any type of acting for the workshop. So I was like, okay, cool. And so that day, Raven Drummer came, and then also my old agent Amber came, and Amber was looking for new talent. And so so everybody has gone and done like, I'm reading for everybody and like all of this stuff. And I'm in the back room. It's me, Raven, and Amber. And we're talking and stuff like that. And Raven kind of thought I like worked for the studio and stuff. And I was like, no, I'm a student here. And she was like, oh, like, why aren't you participating in a workshop? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I didn't want to tell her I couldn't afford it. So I'm just like, oh, I'm just reading for the actors, like I'm just helping out, that type of thing. You know what I mean? And she was like, oh, no, you should like, she was like, you should audition, like, read for a role or whatever. And I had the lines memorized because I've been reading for 30 people. You know what I mean? So, but this is, I'm going to go back to research too, but this is important to know what is currently on TV, because the show that a lot of the actors were auditioning for was Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots, which is which is a show that Raven Drummer was casting for. I had been watching the show, so I was familiar with the character. And I had already seen the episode too, so I kind of knew a little bit about the character. I knew the lines and all of that. So I kind of gave the teacher like a look, kind of like checking in with him, kind of like saying, hey, like, can I read? Can I read for her? It was like I was like the very last person. And he kind of gave me the okay to do it. And bro, I gave it my all. Like I read that thing. I made some acting choices right there in the moment. And it was good enough to where Amber was like, yo, I want to sign you. And then the next day she sent me a contract. Yep.
Dope. And so what does an agent do for you once you get an agent?
Yeah, so agents for you in the industry, they work for you. So basically, when you book roles, your agent gets paid, right? So like if I book a big national TV show, my agent is going to get paid. But what they do is that they find roles for you. So like they will research movies and television shows and roles that fit your casting. So like sometimes as actors we'll submit for roles, but then also there's projects that we can't see, but your agent can see. And it's usually those bigger SAG projects and mainstream projects like the big stuff, the real big stuff, not so much of the independent stuff, but like the bigger stuff that's going to be, like a big blockbuster on mainstream or Netflix show, things like that. And so your agents really work for you and they do a lot. I mean, agents are important. I tell every actor, it's good to have an agent that is your friend and also your business partner. You want to have a relationship with them. You want to be able to call them and say, hey, I see that, Raven Drummer is casting for this role here. I want to audition for this. Cool. Your agent will submit you for that. Talk about career goals. What's the step within the next year, next 5 years, So agents are really, really important. But you do have some actors who don't have agents and they still, they still work and do stuff. So, yeah. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So the casting side of things, I noticed, and Trent, forgive me if I'm stepping on y'all. I noticed like different actors kind of, some like stick to a certain type of role. Like if you see Liam Neeson, somebody in his family got took. Yeah, and he on the way.
he plays the father well, the deranged father.
Someone is kidnapped.
Somebody is gone.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like my boy Denzel,
Come on.
Danielle to be a puppy. He gonna be barking.
Denzel.
You know what I'm saying? He got that. But
oh my God.
So like, how does that work? How does that work?
So yeah, some actors do get typecast, for particular roles. One thing that I love and I teach my actors is that it's good to be versatile. It's good to be an actor that is well-rounded, can play multiple roles, and not get stuck in one lane. But sometimes the industry will put you in a lane, and it's not on purpose, but it's just you're good at that. So that's kind of what you want to do and continue on with that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I always like to challenge myself as an actor. I'm about to step into a role that I've probably would have never thought that I would do, but I'm going to do it because I know that I can. You know what I mean? I know that I'm versatile, and I know that I'm going to give it my all and make it as believable as possible. But some people like to stay in that lane, and it's good, especially if the lane is making you money and it's giving you exposure and you're able to feed your families. Yeah, for sure. Stay in it. But for me, I like for people to look at me and be like, dang, I really could never see you doing it, but you really did a good job. You really moved me. You know what I mean? So I like that, and I try to teach them that. But everybody has their own, their own way of doing things. Yeah.
I feel like I feel like you, at least I've noticed it with certain actors. They had that one role where it was finally they were able to like break out. Mm-hmm. Like you say, you love Will Smith. Will Smith was like the funny guy.
Yeah.
And the big sci-fi guy for so long. Yeah. And then I think he had 7 Pounds came out. It was one of those ones in Pursuit of Happiness. Around that era, he started to really branch out and be like more emotional, more dramatic, and step into like, it felt like he stepped into another level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Took it up
sure.
another level.
Yeah.
So no, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. Because there's different genres of acting. So you have like drama, you have comedy, you have horror, you have all of those things. And I think especially if you're speaking on Will Smith, we were used to seeing him in that funny comedic role, But then if you also see those episodes of Fresh Prince where, the episode with his father and stuff, it gets emotional. So it was always there, you know what I mean? But because he was doing the other stuff so well, it was like, well, let's keep that because that's what's bringing the attraction and the money in, But when he does do like a 7 Pounds or the one with the son where he has the little son, Pursuit of Happiness, it's like, oh, he is acting. You know what I mean? Even the award where he played the Serena's father, I can't think of that one.
Just recently,
King Richard. You know what I mean? Will Smith is one of the greatest actors of all times.
But can I go back even before? There's one prominent movie that we're missing out on, and that's 6 Degrees of Separation.
Yeah.
That movie is what really
It's another one.
like broke him out of the mold.
Yeah.
Because it showed how dramatic he could go.
Yep. That's true.
He said, "I'm a real fan.
He
For
said
the
he's a
real
real
ones
fan. He
who
said
were
we're gonna
really
take it
here."
Yeah.
We're gonna take
Y'all
it
wasn't
way
really
back to the
looking.
'90s.
I like that, dog. Because I'm like that with my people
Yeah,
too,
same.
especially like in music. There's parallels for sure.
Yeah.
Where like you got that person that you like, nah, y'all wasn't hip. He was already
Right.
playing. He
He was
already playing the
already
C's.
there.
But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
gotcha.
Give us some of these techniques that you're talking about. You throwing out.
Ooh.
I don't even know what the words you said, but yeah.
Oh man.
You got that Hadoken.
Listen, let me break it down to y'all.
Oh my God.
So there's a few techniques that I like to incorporate in the studio. One is the Udahagen technique. That's the one that we use the most because you can incorporate it for stage and film and television. And so that's the one again that I like and use the most. There's also Meisner technique, which is really big on repetition. And so we've done some Meisner exercises in class and incorporate them in their Stanislavski technique, man. I really feel like this as an actor, you really got to know the people who started it, the foundational stuff, you know what I mean? And it's always important to be a smart actor too, because if anyone asks you questions about something, you don't want to just be like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know who Uda Hagen is, or I don't know what she did, or, and so I always encourage them to like get the acting books, go through the techniques. Some of them are repetitive, sometimes they are saying the same things over and over, but it's just good stuff to know. You know what I mean? Because you don't ever want to be on set with the director and, they're like, oh, well, what technique do you use or something like that? And you're just like, well, I don't know. I just do whatever. You know what I mean? You're going to sound crazy.
Just
you know what I mean?
Just vibing, bro.
Just like, I'm just here. You know what I mean? I just did a good audition, But you do have some actors out there that are just naturally talented and they're good. And they may not have had any technique, but then they go back and they learn certain stuff just so that they can know,
Yeah. I think that's the next
Like
level in a lot of
Nick Cannon
professions.
and Drumline.
Yeah, he said
Not
Nick
being
Cannon
able to read music.
Oh, I'm weak.
Yeah.
I'm weak.
Well,
Yes, that is
Hey.
spot
Yeah.
on.
I'm a drumline fan.
Yeah,
Don't
same.
even-
And low key though, I'm not gonna lie. When I was in band, that's how I learned to play drums. I learned by ear.
Oh, really?
I didn't learn to read music first. I learned by ear.
I think that's like the next level in a lot of professions is like being able to execute it consistently, but then being able to like communicate what you did after the fact.
Absolutely.
Because,
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like it takes it to another level because
Yep.
then you can like communicate like with your team, like
Yeah.
what you need and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So no, that's definitely dope.
Well, that's what they say. When you're able to teach something, that's when you actually, have really found your way in whatever that craft is, and you
Yeah.
actually teach somebody else.
Yeah, yeah. And it's important, man, especially in this industry. I wish that more people would, reach one, teach one, because this industry is an industry of relationships. You can have all the talent in the world, but if nobody knows you and if you don't have those connections, it's going to be very difficult to navigate, And so teaching was something that I always desired after kind of seeing I had an old acting mentor, and that was kind of his thing. He would teach, he taught acting, and he was also a good actor as well. And so I would look at him, and I'm like, man, I want to learn from him. I want to learn how he does this because of the time frame that was then. It was inspiring. Now that I'm more in a teaching position, it's important for me to help others launch their careers, and the reason why is that not every acting teacher you encounter is really going to care about your life and your career. They're going to take your money, right? I don't do this for money. You know what I mean? I do it because when I meet someone like Nicole and she's like, hey, I want to take classes. I want to hop in there. I want to learn. These are my future goals and stuff. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Or I have someone like Tay who was, didn't have a lot of experience, but the same thing, man. I want to be an actor. I want to learn. I want to hop in here. I want to be able to be comfortable on stage and on the screen. You know what I mean? So for me, it's a little bit different because it's like I listen to those things and I'm like, it's important for me. And it's a lot of sacrifice, and sometimes it can cut into your own personal life and your career. But the reward to see the growth, like to see the growth in Tay over a year and a half, to see the growth in Nicole in 6-7 months, beautiful. And no one can take that from me, you know what I mean? But I would say every acting teacher has their own motive of why they do it. Some people do it for the money, and some people really do it because they believe in their talent and they believe in their students, and they's like, yo, you got it. You know what I mean? And how can I help you get there? You know? So, yeah, that's what I would say as far as like the teaching aspect of things. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Make sure you get paid though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm
yeah.
playing, I'm
Nah,
playing.
listen.
We don't
Listen.
come to class for free.
We
I
don't-
know I'm already
They don't go to
though.
class for free, man.
I'm the
You know what I'm
businessman, so I
saying?
got to be on it.
No,
And,
seriously though. Yeah, and that was honestly something that I had to tighten up on, you know, because I was being a little lax, and you know, again, I don't do it for money, but I know that I have to because this is a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's growing and it's expanding, and we're doing great things. So I know that stuff is important. So I'm tightening up in that area.
Yeah, for sure. And I only say that because
Yeah.
me, like as a kid, I always loved business. I always loved. Like,
Yeah.
I knew whatever I did, I wouldn't be happy unless I got some money from it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But with me and Trent, like we deal with a lot of artists across.
Yeah.
You know, I deal with a lot of musicians, a lot of artists, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing that's not very different about being an actor and being a singer, y'all both have to deal with the companies who, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They deal with labels. You guys deal with the studios. You know what I'm saying? And they both have contracts that can definitely have you looking sad because you know what I'm saying, you've been working for 5
To
years
this
on this
day.
project to this day, and it's making money, but you're not making no
You're
money,
not
off,
making money.
of,
Yeah.
off of it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yep.
Exactly why the strike happened.
The strike happened.
yeah,
Yep.
and that's what I wanted to get into. Can you just like explain what that is for like just
Oh, gosh.
casuals?
Bro.
Because we casuals.
Yeah.
What is it the SAG-AFTRA? What is it?
Yeah, man, it was
Did I say it wrong?
writer strike, it was acting strikes, it was
Okay.
a lot of different things. But one of the main things is that I'm just going to be very, very honest.
Okay.
This industry is not a very lucrative industry. Actors get paid nickels and dimes.
Yeah.
I'm being very honest. I got 2 SAG checks maybe a month ago. One was 5 cents, one was $3. These were residual checks from a major television show that I booked and worked on.
Okay.
And so this is not, you know, and not to shade any type of other profession or anything like that, but, you know, those jobs are a little bit more secure than acting. You know what I mean? It's really not. And then you have to fight for the role to get it. It's like, you know, I tell people when they say that acting is not a real job, I'm like, you don't even know. It's like a 5-step process just to book one role. And then a lot of times you don't get no feedback, you don't get nothing. You do your best job and you wait and then you don't hear from
We'll
it.
hit you up, buddy.
Right, and then you move on to the next project. So it's you know, it's very difficult, and that's why I tell actors you got to be called to do it, because if not, you're gonna quit. I've started with a lot of people who were better than me, better looking than me, better, you know, would book more roles than me, all of those things, but they quit.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough industry, you know. Yeah, you have to enjoy it. But I think with the strikes, though, one thing they were fighting for was, you know, better pay for actors, better residuals for actors. Also, the use of AI, which was a big thing in, you know, with the strikes, because as actors, man, we put so much into our roles, our hearts, our minds, our bodies. Like, we're really becoming these characters for y'all's enjoyment. And now you want to replace us with AI? You know what I mean? It's like a slap in the face. And then you already not paying us. So it's like, bro, what can we do? You know? So that was, you know, some of the stuff within the strikes. And there was other things as well, you know. But those are just kind of the things that, you know, we were on strike for, you know. And it sucked. I mean, as a professional actor and been doing this for 9 years, I am an actor who was getting before COVID and really like a good week of acting for me, I was getting at least 6 auditions a week. To now maybe getting an audition once every 2 or 3 months. So my opportunities have been limited, you know, but I love what I do, man. And I could go and do other things. I have multiple degrees. I'm very smart. You know, I feel like I'm a chameleon. I can adapt to any situation, but it's something about this entertainment industry that I can't walk away from, you know? And so during this time of the strikes, I started producing, you know, and again, I produced 7 shorts in 6 months. It's not really my lane, but I've learned it as I've stepped into it more and more, you know, also directing and doing those things, because I said, you know what, I can't just be an actor anymore. I got to do these other things as well too, you know, because right now acting is slow, you know, so I have to step into other lanes of the entertainment industry, and it's been fun. You know, it's been fun and very, very insightful too. So, yeah.
That man doing Nas numbers, like
doing numbers. Hey, shout out to Larry June.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Trent.
yeah, go. Well, if you got some that you relating to this, go ahead.
Okay, so I guess just staying on that tip, how has like the boom in like social media kind of helped in just affected, I guess, you being able to put out more content? Because us like growing up, you could not get like out, like you couldn't put out your work without like, first of all, 6 months of process, because you really couldn't record yourself. It wasn't common to have a good camera. It wasn't common. And if you could record something, it's not like anybody could watch it. So like, how has that like affected it?
I would say everybody's different. Yeah. So for me, how it has affected my career is I would say when I got in the industry almost 10 years ago, social media was still kind of growing, right? It was still kind of, you didn't have your TikToks and all of that type. So you didn't even have Vine. And maybe I think Vine was coming a little bit afterwards. But I would say my personality, I like to do my acting stuff and I like to go home. And so I'm not really big on the social media. Like I don't post a lot. I don't make videos a lot and do stuff that's just me, But what I'm saying is that the way of the world now in the entertainment industry, you have to do those things now. I've been in in-person auditions where they ask you, how many Instagram followers do you have? And in my mind, I'm like, it don't matter, because if I'm good for the role and I'm killing this audition, like who cares? But they're looking at it as, well, if you are a great actor and you got 100,000 followers, if we book you, those people are going to watch the show that you're in, and that's going to bring us money. You know what I mean? And viewers and stuff. And so I'm like, dang, I ain't got number about 2,000 or 3,000. You know what I mean? So I gotta get my Instagram followers up. But every actor's different. Some actors enjoy doing those things, and posting, and it's like really like another job. You know what I mean? Posting content, creating content, taking the pictures and doing all of that stuff. And so for me, someone who's not really all into that, I have to kind of get into it now, so I try to post more and do all those type of things. But every actor, I would say, and everyone in that lane is a little bit different. Okay.
Yeah. Has it affected y'all any? Maybe like even the artistry aspect of it, because like take comedy, stand-up comedians are still like, they're still very popular. But like social media almost introduced a new type of comedian. You know what I'm saying? Has that have you noticed that in acting as well? In the sense of like I follow people just because they just get into characters on their phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's hard because half of me is, yes, I post. I try to get my name out there. I try to let people know when something's happened. So like if you come to me, I can make a great post about my weekend, but it's almost, for me personally, it's so hard sometimes to brand or broadcast yourself. Yep. So I would much rather someone else do it for me. But maybe that's the actor in me. Like, just put a camera on me, give me some lines, and I'll perform. But I've definitely, I think, especially with local and TikTok, with local people, TikTok, stuff like that. There's a lot of people that are getting the views that they should be getting, that they wouldn't have gotten without that social media. And it's missed talent when you can't find those people. So I think it's benefited. I think it's benefited us. Like if I needed to do it, I'm sure it would benefit me in a way much greater than it did. Definitely, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So for me, it hasn't really. Social media hasn't really done anything for my career yet, because I'm at the very beginning of my career. Mm-hmm. I have only been taking acting classes for a year and a half, so I haven't yet had my first professional paid gig, and so. Just to be transparent, I'm not big enough yet. You know what I'm saying? But there are like TikTok actors and TikTok dancers and TikTok, there are social media people in each category. Yeah. You got your social media comedians and then rappers and actors. So, I mean, social media as a whole, the way I view it, it's just a thing, right? Social media it's a platform, and humans make it good or bad. It, like the platform, people talk bad about social media, but it's literally just a platform for you to have access to someone else's life for what they want to show you. Yeah. And either that can be, dramatic or traumatic, or it can be happy or sad. Like, people are what make it what it is.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
he'd be acting like the little Miles Morales in the video game where he's like just standing there in one spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I would say I enjoy the social media stuff though, man. It's sometimes you just get locked in and be like, dang, I've been on this TikTok for about 30, 40 minutes. You know what I mean?
Bruh. Sure.
Yeah,
I recently joined TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
really?
Recently. I don't even think it's been over 3 months.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm part of a group called HAG. It's a production company local to Huntsville, and they were like, we're gonna do a TikTok. I said, okay, cool, I'll be in it. And then they tried to tag me, and I didn't have a TikTok. So I started a TikTok. I don't still know how to work it. So there's that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's always something new to learn in all these platforms. It's always something. But I feel y'all, too, on just putting out content. It's a challenge, like bringing people into your life. And how people do it daily, man, like it's just crazy. My sister does it very often, so it's like, it's a tough thing to bring people into the reality of your life, man. It is.
Yeah, it's true.
So I mean, let's hop into this conservatory, and how that came about,
Oh man. Yeah, so we just hit our 3-year mark. Yeah, so November 8th of 20. Thank you. Yeah, November 8th of 2020, we had our what is it called? Like your open house, and that was the first time people came and signed up for classes, and it was a beautiful moment, you know what I mean? Because actually, Divine Legacy Conservatory started as a class project when I was in college. So I took a what's the class? Oh man, it was like a acting. Gosh, what is that class called? I see the teacher. His name was Jerry Brisky, but it was basically that entire class. We had one project, and that project was like our final grade, and we had to come up with our own acting studio. Like, we had to, correct. I'm like, sir, what a test that. Like, but no, that was our whole grade. Like, I think we had like maybe one other test, but that was like literally our whole grade. And we had it was like you had to come up with your own production company. You had to have shows. You had to have a budget. You had to have like cast members, staff, like everything. And so, I had named it Divine Legacy Conservatory because I'm really big on legacy and creating a legacy for yourself, and just that whole idea of what a legacy is and passing something down, and so that's where the legacy came from. And then that semester before I took that class, I had did a play at UWF. And a lady after the show one time, she really loved my performance, and it was an older lady, and she said, "Your performance was divine." And that just stuck with me, and I was like, divine, like that just sounds good and rich and just and I always would hear that lady say that, and so she was just sweet lady, man. I'm like, what? Man, you over here speaking life into a brother. I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying? But no, seriously, and so Divine Legacy Conservatory was birthed in that class, and that was in like 2012, and so in 2020, I went through a transitional period. I had left my old acting studio where I had been a part of for about 7 years off and on. And this is important. I will say this. It's important to know who you are, what you bring to the table, and when you're in those moments, to know when to leave. So I was a part of a studio where I was an acting student, but I always wanted to be more. I always felt like I could be on staff. I always felt like, I was bringing people to that studio, like telling people, like, hey, come over here and train, blah, 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 do this type of thing like that. They never gave me an opportunity to be who I am today. They didn't see it. And I realized after a lot of things had happened there, I realized in a moment that when that man dies and all of that type of stuff, that stuff is going to go to his children. It's not going to go to me. Even though they were like family to me, you know? And so, so I ended up leaving that studio, and this was in the middle of COVID, but there were still like little auditions here and there and stuff, but people were reaching out to me and they're like, hey, Princeton, like, can you help me with this audition? Can you help me read and do all of this stuff? And I was like, yeah, let's do it, you know, whatever. But I didn't feel comfortable bringing people in my house because of COVID, you know what I mean? So it was like, dang, like, what can I do? Like, people are reaching out and stuff like that. And my aunt and my best friend within the same week was like, well, bro, like, why don't you just teach? You know what I mean? Why don't you just, like, you know, you always wanted to do it. And I was like, yeah, but I was like, I don't want to do it here in Huntsville because of that other studio. People knew that I was affiliated with this other studio. And they knew how close I was and stuff. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And I was like, well, maybe I'll move back to Florida since, you know, I got real ties in Florida. I was like, I'll just go back to Florida and do it. And my best friend, shout out to Athos, he was like, bro, don't come back to Florida and do this. He said, because you're known where you are. You're important where you are.
I've told a lot of people that would continue.
You know what I mean?
Right now.
No, yeah, seriously though. He was like, coming to Florida is like you have to start out over. He was like, but you got people reaching out to you now where you are. He was like, just do it. And I was like, no, because I don't want. I was so close to these other people at this other studio. I was like, man, I don't ever want them to think that it's a competition thing. Like, even though in a way they kind of did me dirty, I was still trying to protect them.
It is a competition thing.
You know what I mean? But you know, no, but it was really like, I mean, I don't know. It was just a weird thing, and I was like, man, I don't want to do it here, you know. And so I was like, I just don't know. I wasn't sure. And then my aunt Tracia, man, she's the best. She reached out to Jade, who is my website designer. Reached out to Jade, sent her like this photo. I had just done this photo shoot. Sent her a picture from the photo shoot, and was like, he's gonna name this. This is what he's gonna do. And so she sent her all of this stuff, like Jade, and then they sent it to me, and she was like, Princeton, this is it. It was like a whole promo thing for me about this company, and I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, no, I'm not even going to do this here. You know what I mean? And she was like, no, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna do it now. And I was like, dang. So it was like I was having people pour into my life in a time where I needed it, because during that time, man, I was transitioning from an acting studio. I was in a boot because I had sprained my ankle doing CrossFit. I was in a boot for 13 weeks. My job had closed down. My part-time job had closed down. So I didn't have no money coming in. You know what I mean?
On, my boy.
So it was rough, bro. Yeah. And I'm making $20 just taping little actors here and there. And I'm like, man, what am I going to do? And then, but when we started, I partnered with another actor. His name is Sampley Baranagua. Great actor, man. Great person. He's one of my best friends now. He was one of the reasons why I actually went back and started training with those guys, because we were in an elite group of actors, and I was like, man, I want to compete with the best. I want to train with these guys, you know? And so me and him started talking, and he had done some acting teaching before, more so with kids, and we were like, man, let's partner and let's do this. Then we met. Well, I knew Kathleen because I had an audition for a project, and we worked on a project together. But Kathleen was Kathleen Robinson. She's a writer, a producer, and director as well. She had a degree from Full Sail in filmmaking and writing. So we were like, oh, we're finna be a dynamic duo. No one has ever seen it like this in this, or I guess a triple duo, or whatever you call it. Triple threat, you know, triple threat. Because I'm like, you know, you have an African-American guy, you have a white guy, you have this black girl, but we all are on the same page. And it was like, we're going to do this, you know what I mean? And so we all partnered, and we opened up Divine Legacy Conservatory. Yeah. Yeah.
You had that entrepreneurial spirit for real.
Yeah.
Because it ain't nothing like working a job and be like,
yeah,
I could do this for myself.
Yeah. And I don't know, man, it's so weird. Like the type of work that I am and the person that I am, my work has to be meaningful. I just can't go to work and just work, and it don't mean nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
for sure.
you know, and I understand that mode of survival. Like, I know people do it all the time, but I can't do it. And I think that's why I can't leave the entertainment industry, because I'm like, if I go do something else, I'm going to be miserable, bro.
Just getting a check.
Like, it's just a check.
Else,
yeah. I'm like, I got to do something that's meaningful and making a difference and changing lives, man. Like, I just, you know, that's just me, though. I know everybody else is different, but it's just hard for me to just work and just not be doing so. Even my job when I worked at the boxing gym, I was helping people like reach their fitness goals and do all of that type of stuff. So, man, yeah, it's crazy, but yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I got a couple. Go ahead, Trent.
Well, I mean, I also wanted to ask. I know you were like second guessing, like starting it, and because you didn't want, it seemed like you were, trying to go against, the old studio, where you're working for.
Yeah.
Was it also a thing of like, people that are there, you got family and everything, and people might see you in a certain way already. So maybe you were a little fearful in that way of like starting your own thing, because they might be like, no, he's trying to do teaching now.
Yeah.
But, he was just acting or, doing this. Now he's trying to do that. Was that, a second guess or something you were thinking about at all?
Yeah, for sure. But you know what? Honestly, though, I'm gonna be very honest, and nobody even knows this. To this day, I have never recruited a student. Everyone who's ever reached out to me about taking classes has done it on their own will. I never reached out to a student about taking classes. I've never done anything like that because I never wanted to be that person where they would say, well, Princeton, he took these students from over here and he did this and he did that. I never wanted to do that. And that's why I think I didn't want to do it here, because I felt like people would kind of get that impression or think that I was doing something like that. That's just not even who I am. People reached out to me because they knew I knew what I was talking about, and they know that when it comes to acting, this is what I do. I'm going to push you to be good enough to get those roles, And so, and I ain't trying to be correcting and stuff, but I never worked for them. Like I would tape actors and stuff. Like actors would pay me to tape them at their facility, but I was never on staff at their facility, and that was the big thing. I wanted to be. Like I wanted to be a part of the staff because I had done my internship in college there at their facility. I had been there for a long time, and I had talks with the people there about me coming on as a teacher, but they never gave me the opportunity. Except one time they went out of town, and this is actually what changed everything. They went out of town one year. This was in 2019 in November. They went to LA for some stuff, and no, I'm just being honest. Hey, the actors were preparing for a showcase. It was probably about 30, 40 actors came in, and I gave them feedback on their scenes and their monologues and stuff. And them actors was like, yo, this is, I never heard this before. I never did this. And that changed the game for me. Okay. You know what I mean? And even then I was still trying to fight to be a part of the business, and they were like, no. So I was like, all right.
Little tea was spilled today.
Little tea, just a little bit. I didn't give any names though. I ain't giving names, and I could really go in on them, but I ain't gonna do all that. What I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it nice. You know what I'm saying?
What was for you? Happened? You know,
absolutely.
It all worked out.
It all worked out.
It all worked out.
It all worked out for sure. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna ask a series of questions. I'm actually gonna start with Trent, and then it's just gonna go.
Okay, cool.
Trent, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. You said yeah?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So Trent, movies or TV shows?
More of a movie person.
All right, Princeton.
Oh man, this is
tough.
This is tough. I would say it depends on the season and where I am in life. Reason why is sometimes depending on where I am in life, I enjoy my movies. But then if you give me a good series
is crazy.
It's over with.
You become attached to the characters.
I'm rewatching Lovecraft Country for the third time. I'm locked in, bro. I'm locked in. God. I'm locked in. Like I'm watching it for the first time. This is the third time.
Okay.
That show's so good.
Bro, I'm locked in. Give me a good series, and it's over with.
I'm a series person.
Yeah,
because you can become attached to the character.
You can.
Like that's my baby.
Exactly. Right.
Give her back.
Be ready to fight.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh, I've been long.
Princeton inserted a maybe button.
They were hanging out, and Denzel was like, "Oh, you think
I love my movies. Don't
watch this."
Oh, okay.
And when him and Steve Harvey
TV
came out,
series is why I
Denzel
started
was getting all the attention.
Shows that
And Steve was like, "Yo, what's going on? I got the
that
Steve
has
Harvey
a
show.
background.
I got this and that and that."
TV
And
shows
Denzel goes,
is why I started acting.
He said, "You're in people's house all the time, so they feel attached. They feel like you're a part of that." He said, "I'm a movie actor. I'm distanced from them." People, you just asked 3 actors.
Yeah.
It's human. They can't, like, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
I'll be thinking about it later.
Right, me too.
For my career, I want to have a PC answer, and it's movie centric. Honestly, but I definitely want to do TV.
Yeah.
I would love to start off when I do a lot of studying. I like to get my acting chops there, but I can't answer just like, do I prefer this or that? Because there's different uses.
Okay. So he didn't answer my question.
Fall in love with
A lot of actors probably would.
It's a tough.
That was a good answer.
That was tough.
All
right, so the next
It
one.
was Steve Harvey. He was telling a story.
We'll start with Trent. Rom-coms or dramas?
Oh yes.
Man, I love me a rom-com, man. Every time. Give me a rom-com.
All right, Princeton.
Drama for me.
I kind of knew that.
Drama for
It was just off of you.
Yeah, it's always gonna be drama for me, man. Because I think the greats for me and who I study and who I pull from and draw from, all drama, man. All drama. Yeah.
Rom-com.
Rom-com.
Yeah.
Right here.
Hands down. I mean, for me though, it's probably like Melissa McCartney, but like she started in Gilmore Girls. Like she was in Gilmore Girls, and she was hilarious then. People know her now, obviously from Sandra Bullock, with working, Bridesmaids, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, rom-com, just because I love a good humor, sarcastic.
Yeah.
Ends with like character build up, but like at the same time, yeah, I could all day.
Drama.
Okay. Got a drama.
Sure.
I feel like rom-coms had like that era, like the early 2000s, where they were just like on like the teen rom-coms.
Oh,
and then, it was just like
I have a DVD collection of my time rom-coms, so you've got like all of those, it's like a whole collection, 10 Things I Hate About You, and like it's you open it up, it's huge, and you open it up, it's just DVD, and it's like 90s rom-coms and this and that. I said, yep, I could do this all day. So
Okay. All right. So next one. Which one is more of a classic? And I hope everybody have seen these movies: The Godfather or Forrest Gump. It's gonna
This guy. Oh man.
And Trent, if we find out you haven't watched
The
either
fact
one of
that
these movies, you're in trouble.
Of course I will.
Okay.
Jeez.
Damn.
Shouldn't I? Come on.
Damn, I gotta go first.
Yeah, you got to go first. You've been first all the time. It's gonna tear them up.
I'm gonna go with Godfather. I'm gonna go with that one.
You gonna go with which one?
Godfather.
This is a tough one, man. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm gonna go with the movie that I watched the most.
Okay.
And the reason is, every time Forrest Gump is on, I watch it. It's in my top 5, bro. I can't, when it's on, I'm watching it. If it's on VH1, I'm watching it. It's 5 hours and I'm watching it. Like, I can't. It's something about the story, the characters, man. You connect with the characters and it just feels like it's home. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I love it, man. So I'm going with Forrest Gump.
same. I grew up with Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think The Godfather maybe was more impactful for the entertainment industry, more so than Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
But personally, Forrest Gump was more impactful in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you got
Yeah.
peanut butter shrimp.
Yeah.
You're like,
I started running.
Life's just like a box of chocolates.
you
Yeah.
never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You know.
I think
Yeah.
Forrest Gump for me, it was just so fun and just like he just lived a crazy life.
Yeah.
But the first time I watched Godfather, though, I was like, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
I get the hype.
Yeah.
Like the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this was excellent.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah. Dang, that was a good
See,
one.
now I just sit here and be like, but Lieutenant Dave,
Right.
you ain't got no limit.
Okay, so this one's a bit personal for me. I take this one very serious. All right, so, but I have a good feeling like y'all are gonna have some different opinions on this. So, the Dark Knight Joker versus the most recent Joker. There's only one right answer, but I'm gonna let everybody say their.
This is the Dark Knight.
Trent says the Dark Knight.
It's on. Oh,
It's on you.
I thought it was
It's
on
on
Trent.
you. It's on you.
Dang,
Trent said
man.
the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Oh man. This is because I'm thinking from like a body of work, just even outside of the Dark Knight. So, okay, bro, I don't know about this one. Y'all might have to come back to me.
We'll come back to Princeton.
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Oh, do I need to elaborate? There are many actors and actresses that have been gone too soon, and that could have created so much art in their life that it makes you hurt.
Yeah, that's good.
And Heath Ledger's one of them.
Yeah.
But it's impactful in that way. Like to think about the process and the headspace to get into that role and the toll it took. I mean, I just yeah.
He was in one of our rom-coms too. Was it 10 Things I Hate About
10 Things I
You?
Hate About You.
That's your guy.
Yeah. I put him up there with Brittany Murphy.
Yeah.
Those are
man.
gone
Brittany
too
Murphy
soon.
was
Gone too soon.
8 Mile.
man. Brittany Murphy was.
My
she was
girl.
a beast. Yeah, man.
Oh.
Clueless, 8 Mile,
Uptown Girls,
Uptown,
Just Married with
man.
Ashton Kutcher,
Just
rom-com. I mean, that is just
Brittany Murphy was.
She was one of the ones.
Yeah, she was.
Heath Ledger, dog.
Heath
Yeah.
Ledger.
It's just like when you
Yeah.
study people like Heath Ledger, you really dive down into like what it truly takes to be enthralled into the character. In acting, living in the moment is everything.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna change from take to take. Your scene partner might do something differently.
Absolutely.
You can't just stay one way. That's not acting. That's not true acting.
It's true.
Good
It's
acting.
very true.
At least.
It's very true.
Gotcha.
And so, man, studying him, it's just like he was in character for for the whole duration of that movie. Like, and it's unfortunate what happened, but like the process of what he had to go through to get there, it's just like, okay, I got to keep going.
Yeah.
Like I haven't done enough yet. So Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And honestly, I would agree. I was in my mind, I was thinking of a body of work of an actor, but really, when it boils down to it, man, it's Heath Ledger. I don't think that anyone has really even touched his Joker just yet. Even though I like even though I'm a fan of, man, I'm a fan. Like Tay was saying, the character work that he put into that role, people are still studying it to this day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he left a legacy, and it sucks that he's no longer here with us because I know, and I I desire to win, an Oscar and all of those things as well. But I really, really believe that he would be one that would have probably had multiple Oscars by now.
Oh yeah.
Because he just, the way that he would embody a character, man, it just he moves you. Whether you like him or not, or like the performance or not, he moves you. And I'm so big on actors moving your audience, So Heath Ledger, man. Yeah.
He's in a Knight's Tale. Is that the yeah? That's our background movie when we're at home. So cleaning and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just so.
Yeah.
And again, absolutely love, and if I butcher his name because I always do, Joaquin Phoenix is his name.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
I loved him in Walk the Line.
Yeah, I love his body.
So,
It's great.
That was a breakout for me for him. So it's so hard when you come to
Yeah. I just had to, because I feel like the Batman and the Joker, these recent ones, were kind of more theatrical and dramatic. I feel like that's why I wanted to know how you guys felt about them, because I thought they appealed maybe more to like people who like understood that world more.
I feel like sometimes you have to find. I think that some people are so big on remaking something and trying to make something fit that it does a disservice to the people who have done it and done it well and done it justice, and you don't need to touch it again. You know what I mean? And so I just keep feeling like you keep giving us a new Batman and a new Superman and doing all of these things, but it's like, man, just let this stuff rest and give us something new.
Yeah,
because there's so many other characters. You know what I mean?
Like I do feel like that.
Because when you have somebody that does it so well, it's just like, bro, we don't want to see nobody else in the
I really don't. I really don't. Like, I am good.
Like, we good. You know what I mean? But we'll go and watch it and, support it, all that stuff. But it's like, man, some stuff don't need to be touched.
I will say
that's just how I think about it.
There's far.
Maybe
Go ahead, Trent.
They don't be worried. They don't be worried about us. They be like, man, we tired of the older generation. We want the new generation to catch on to something.
Yeah.
I feel like there's far more remakes that don't work.
No, because I struggled watching this last Batman. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, it was so long.
It was long, and it just was like I couldn't get into it. I'm like, man, I'm really trying. It took me like 2 days.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
Took a long time.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've seen it.
Yeah.
It was long.
Yeah, it was long, but
That
I just felt like I was watching The Ring. The Ring movies used to be 3-4 hours.
It was also
Lord of the Rings.
video wise, it was just not including script wise, but video wise, it was dark.
It was dark. Yeah, it was. It was
Yeah.
very dark. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is my last one now.
All right.
This is my last one.
Man, come on.
Spielberg or Tarantino? I almost said Scorsese, but I'm gonna do Spielberg or Tarantino. Go ahead, Trent.
You said what? Wait, what was you saying?
Actually, I'm mad him in there. Spielberg, Tarantino, or Scorsese? It feels weird to say. We're gonna say start, bench, cut. I was gonna say fuck, marry, kill, but I don't. But start, bench, cut. Spielberg, Tarantino, Martin Scorsese.
I don't think I'm a good person to answer this
I
question.
don't know if I can even do this one, for real.
Wait, you don't know Steven Spielberg films?
Yeah, I can't.
You got to name some. I know Tarantino.
Spielberg's like E.T.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most popular?
Jaws.
Tarantino's like Kill Bill.
Tarantino.
Pulp Fiction. And then Scorsese's like any Italian mob movie you've seen is probably Goodfellas, Godfather.
I can't pick.
I think he did The Departed, maybe. I don't know if that was
With Jack Nicholson and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It was a really good movie,
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're Trent. Just go with the vibes.
Okay. I'm gonna go Tarantino because I just, I love the Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction. Those are just crazy good. It's gonna be number one for me.
Yeah, can we just rate our number one instead of like?
Nah, you gotta rank.
Because see, the thing is, man, I wanted to see this podcast, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to work with all of them. But right, I'm trying to work with all of them.
We're thinking of
At
our
this
futures.
point, they're all great, and I
all
want to work
great.
with all of them. I am ready
This
to
podcast
work.
gets big enough for them to see it. Hopefully, they
I am
all are
ready to
big.
work.
And
It's like that T-shirt where it's like I just hope both teams have fun.
Man.
It's,
Yeah. It's a great question and a great category, but I am
okay, I'll let y'all. I'll let y'all just say. I'll say y'all. I'll let y'all say y'all favorite out the bunch, and I'll start it. I think Spielberg. Ooh, this is actually hard.
Yeah. This one is.
I feel like my mom would harm me if I didn't say Spielberg.
He appeals to like the kid in me. He had this Ready Player One. Have y'all seen that?
Yeah.
It's like he just knows how to get to the kid in me.
Yeah.
Tarantino is right there with him.
Yeah.
I think Tarantino has movies though that do miss for me. That's why I'm just going Spielberg. Cause he'll take it over the top to like, I'm like, bro, what am I watching?
I know what you're talking about. I know the movie. I know exactly what you're talking about.
What's that movie where he's talking about the dude where it's about the serial killer on Hollywood?
It's in black and white. The movie.
No, it's not in black and white. Leonardo DiCaprio, I think.
I was gonna say it's Leonardo DiCaprio, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's all over the place. I took my family to watch it, and they were like,
Inception?
"What did you take us to?" No, it's
No,
not
it's not
Inception.
Inception.
Inception
You were thinking of him with a briefcase, and that's the
Yeah.
front cover of
All right,
Inception.
all right. I just gotta find it now. But y'all give me yours, and I'm gonna let y'all know in a second.
It's hard. Kill Bill.
Yeah, Kill Bill is
can't-
another one. Though, like you can't.
I can't get rid of Tarantino.
Yeah,
Actually, I lied. I gotta go Tarantino.
yeah, that's what I'm
lied.
thinking, man. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the ones where the movies that I watched the most too. This is
And
a tough one.
there's some movies though that you watch and you don't realize it's them.
Yeah.
You're right. Once upon a time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
I took my family to watch that, and they were
Yeah.
like, "What did you do?"
Yeah.
Django. Yeah, I gotta go Tarantino.
Django.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Tarantino. It is. It's Tarantino for real.
Oh man, Glorious Bastards. Yeah.
Yeah.
That man is different.
Yeah.
He's built different.
Yeah. It's Tarantino for me too. Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm done terrorizing y'all.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Thank you.
Man, it had me sweating, man. I feel like my back went over here. I'm like, dang.
I was like, Princeton didn't tell me this was gonna be part of it.
Yeah. I didn't know either, man. It's good though.
it's the
It's
podcast
good.
aspect.
Yeah. But I think it as actors too, your favorite stuff sometimes it changes. You know what I mean? For sure. Like you know, it's weird. Like some of my favorite movies as a kid they're not my favorites anymore, but I still enjoy them. You know?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think as artists we're always evolving and growing, and so our taste changes a little bit too. So, yeah.
I didn't think I would be someone that would like Barbie, to be honest with you. And
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
and I'm like, go see it right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it changes. Younger me would not have been interested.
Yeah.
Older me for sure.
The marketing behind it was what interested me from like a business
Yeah.
perspective. I've just
No,
never
they really-
seen that.
You know, there's a shortage of pink paint.
There's a
Really?
shortage of pink paint because of that movie.
I believe it. I believe it. I think the only thing comparable is Back to the Future. Was one of the first movies I saw where it just had marketing like throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like you might see like a Pepsi can or something.
Yeah.
It was cool. Yeah. All right, Trent, take it away.
Okay, shoot. My last question though, before we go, is just about the conservatory and what, should people expect, when they, start to take classes, what should they expect? Curriculum projects, is there mentoring? Just give the people what they should expect when they come in, get
absolutely.
taught by you in the studio.
Yeah. Number one, I would say come in and be yourself. You don't have to come in and like try to impress me. I've been in this industry a long time. I am more interested in you being your natural self, not putting on a performance for me, not trying to get my approval on anything, because I'm here for you, right? So coming in and being a sponge, soaking up information, asking questions. Tay, he asks questions, and I love that about him. And I tell him that all the time. I'm like, bro, like, because he, we joke about it and stuff, but I'm like, because in acting, his brain is like engineering and stuff, and I'm like, bro, in acting, A plus B doesn't equal C. You know what I mean? Like, but he's like, but why is this and why is that and why is that? And I love that, and I wish more people would do that. You know what I mean? But man, come in, be a sponge, have fun. Acting should be fun. There are moments where acting is very serious, right? And especially when you have it as a career. But it should be fun, man. Like you should be laughing. You should leave, feeling hopeful and filled up, not down and depressed and sad and feel like a failure. You know what I mean? I'm very big on uplifting my students, right? Even on those difficult days. Because sometimes in acting, you're going to be off, You're not going to have, your acting skills may not be good that day. You may have life things happening and it's affecting your performance. But, man, always have fun. One thing about DLC, man, and Divine Legacy Conservatory, we are a family, and I'm big on that. I check in with, how are you guys doing mentally? Are you guys, good physically? Because if your body and your mind aren't right, you ain't going to be able to be a great actor. Just being honest. Your instrument has to be there, and just come in and willing to learn. My teaching style is very different. I'm not going to lecture you for 2 and 3 hours. You know, I'm gonna give you a little bit of lecture, but we're gonna get up. We're gonna work. We're gonna do improv. We're gonna do monologues in front of the camera. We're gonna do scenes in front of the camera. We're gonna connect with your scene partner. I'm gonna teach you how to break down a scene. I'm gonna teach you how to mark up your script. I'm gonna help you with your choices. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to change you. You know what I mean? I'm not here to tear you down and build you up type of thing. You know what I mean? Everybody is unique. I love Nicole because Nicole is so naturally funny, bro. Like, it's like your jaws will hurt from laughing at Nicole. And I'm not trying to change her. I'm not trying to tell her like, yo, you got to be more like this, or you got to be like this, or you got to do that. I'm like, no, let's use it and let's elevate it. So when you get on these bigger sets and stuff, it's like, yo, we want Nicole because she is this. You know what I mean? And so I would say, man, just when you sign up for Divine Legacy, man, just know that you're in for some group training. But most importantly, man, you're going to leave feeling like a family member and like you belong somewhere.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing you're doing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually interested to see what the actors think about this.
Okay. Yeah. Is this the experiences that y'all have had while being here? You're okay right now.
Blink.
Oh, okay.
Blink twice. You're not okay.
Taylor's looking at me like, bro.
The order. No, it's fine. He's got to no. Yes. I 100% agree with what he said. You know, I came from a studio that just didn't have all those things. I was hesitant to join a studio. I thought maybe I was the issue, that it wasn't like this is how it's supposed to be. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with my acting, with what I'm doing. So reaching out to Princeton, that was number one. That was a big thing, is being authentically yourself. Because we spend every day acting as other people. Yeah. So, you know, it's being able to be yourself and having a group of people that accept that no matter what is hard to find in this industry for sure. But yeah, I came into the studio with that head, normally shy. I mean, that's my first thing is shy. It takes a minute, and then people are like, you need to stop talking. So because I have that. So I initially came in shy, but the very first day, I audited. It was an audit process that some actors may know or not know. If you're not 100% sure you can put in the time commitment, or you don't know what the class is like, you can audit a studio or a class depending on what's available. So my initial thing was an audit. It wasn't, there's no contract, there's no you have to do this, just come in, see what we're about. And I came in thinking I'm going to sit in this corner and I'm going to see what they do, and that was not the case. He's, get up, let's introduce yourself, do some improv, this and that. And so I immediately felt like a home. I felt this is it. Wow. And feeling that when it's not always the case. So he said it for sure. I mean, that's how it is.
I love that. All right, blink twice if you're.
No,
I was about to say the same thing. I was like,
the question is, what is it like from from a student's perspective to train here at Divine Legacy Conservatory, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The first word I think of, honestly, is challenge. It's challenging, but it's not from a negative connotation. Just me personally, I grew up with a sports background, playing different sports and just being coached hard. So tough coaching ain't nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? And the way my mind works is I have a certain level of confidence in myself and my abilities because of my work ethic, and part of that comes from being challenged here. The work that you have to do to successfully complete the mission of tapping into whatever that character is. Like one thing he said earlier is that some people are here for paychecks and some people are here to help you with your career. You know what I'm saying? Some people are about paper, some people are about people. And so one thing I really respect about Princeton is that he's people over profits. Because one thing that I want people to know is that when you have someone that will represent, or not necessarily represent you, but that will fight for you on your half, like it's like being a player for a coach. Like me personally, I've had bad and good coaches in sports, and the ones that I really rock with, I don't care how tired I am, I'm gonna keep running. I'm gonna keep chasing the ball. I'm gonna keep trying to score. I'm gonna keep, whatever. I'm gonna sprint the last 100 meters of the race, whatever it is. And so when you have someone that believes in you, that builds a self-confidence in yourself, and that can only increase your abilities. You know what I'm saying? And so Yeah, training here, bro, is very challenging. And if you want to be with the best, you got to compete with the best. I'm not in this to be coddled. I'm not in this for a friendly and like I'm here for family, and I enjoy that. But I want to learn. I want to work with the best because I have a goal. You know what I'm saying? This isn't here to just play. So that's just me.
No, I love that, man. I think there's a lot of parallels in the entertainment industry, like whether it be sports, music, acting. Yeah. There's only so many spots, you know, like only so many people make the team, only so many people get the spot in the show, the movie, on the label or whatever. Yeah. So you got to like put those hours in. You got to show up. You got to be uncomfortable. So I love what y'all are doing, man. This is great. I appreciate y'all like sharing this too, because we might have somebody that watches this that needs to like see like what it takes.
Yeah, it's hard work, man. But I say, man, you have to be committed. I am literally committed to doing this for the rest of my life, you know. And so it's if you're not gonna be committed, man, you just give up and quit so easily, you know. And we've saw that this term, you know, we've had people that were in classes with us, and we think that we are all going to get to that finish line, and some people fall and they don't get back up. You know what I mean? And I'm here, you know, to push them to get to that line. Even if you got to crawl, we're going to get there. And some people don't see that and they don't get it, you know. And it's just important for me, just even as a man, to start something and finish it. You know, and so I'm like, guys, no matter what happens, I know life things happen. Like we've had some we've had some deaths in people's family. We've had some people who have gone through some very like mental struggles and stuff. Yeah. But man, it's something about persevering to the end and getting to that finish line. And if we can do it together, that's why we're here, right? We're here to be each other's backbone. We're here to keep each other accountable. And not everybody gets that, you know. And as a teacher, it's hard because sometimes I'm like, man, I want to fight for you and I'm fighting for you and I want to do all of this stuff. And it's so hard sometimes to just let the ones go that don't want it. But I realized, man, probably like a month and a half ago, I'm like, man, whoever is on this train, we're going to ride it out. And whoever is not, they got to get off. Yeah. And that's just the way it's got to be because I can't keep carrying this dead weight. You know, because we trying to, you know, they're trying to get agents. They're trying to be on big productions and connect with some industry people. They're trying to be on sets where it's 100 people and they're the lead and the reoccurring role, the guest star roles and stuff. And like, if this is the goal, everybody else that's on something else different, we got to let you go, you know? And it hurts. It doesn't feel good, you know? But man, you got to be committed. Got to be committed.
And I love that you said walking because whatever you do, like we're in another side of media, but we understand the getting better is going to take you farther so much when it comes to achieving the thing. And it just takes time to get better. Like you can't be looking at what everybody else is doing because you don't know what they've been through to get to where they're at. Yeah. Like you can see like somebody that's your age on TV, you could see them on the field, and you're like, dang, he's already achieved. They might have been like their parents might not have let them even go to school. They might have been like rehearsing. Like,
good. No, that's so good.
You know what I'm saying?
Man,
you know what I'm
saying? Good. Man, that's so good.
Your ass right. Like, everybody's got a different path, and it just takes time to get better. It takes so much time, and I think the beautiful thing is like if you're crawling, you're still moving forward. Man. It's better than walking out the door. It's better than stopping. If you got to crawl. Yes. You're still making progress. And I think this is country singer Jelly Roll that just won got nominated for
I saw that.
Grammy New Artist.
So good.
It was beautiful because he's like, I'm a 40-year-old man that just got nominated for a Grammy for Best New Artist. Yeah. And I thought that was like the perfect, like you are what we like the regular, like we look at you and we're like, bro, there's a reason you keep doing this thing, whatever you're doing. So I love that. I love what you're doing. Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all for coming out.
Yeah, thank you for having us, man. For sure.
Trent.
Thank you. Yeah. So, thank you. Princeton, Nicole, and Tay, we really appreciate y'all coming through and bringing a unique episode to us. Yeah. And, look, you know, that's it for today, man.
That's it, man.
Let's begin cut scene.
Yes, sir. I've been wanting to do this.
Oh, yes. That's a wrap.
All in audio experience.